Hi friends, thank you for clicking on this video and welcome to my new vlog. If you're new here, my name is Kate. I'm Kate Sanderson. I am an actor and mostly indie film actor. I moved to this house in Essex over a year ago now and I'm trying to do it up. And my vlog is kind of about my week, things that interest me, my job, really just a mix up of hopefully interesting, cute things. I try to be cozy. This week, it's been so wet and cold. I had planned to do stuff, even though I looked at the weather forecast. But then when I saw the weather today, I just couldn't face going and doing those things. So I'm going to make some changes. I decided to stay home this afternoon and I made cakes. And I might put in a little tiny clip of my cakes. And I've decided I'm going to rewatch Stranger Things, the TV series. Yeah, I love Stranger Things. If you're a fan of my channel, you'll probably remember that. And I have not seen the early episodes for probably a couple of years because there was a big gap before you saw the last ones. So I've made some little cakes that I'm going to try and decorate with Stranger Things on them, which I'll show you. And I have to work tomorrow, so I'm not going to wait for it to get dark before I put it on. But I think I'm going to try and watch the episode with the first episode and see what I think. And then I will come back to you. Sorry to ramble on. We will do many other things in this vlog. That's just the start. Well, my pumpkin seedlings are coming along. It's a very, very rainy day, which is probably very good for the planet. I would say it's a day for being kind of cozy. What do you say, crinoline ladies? Are we going to be a bit cozy today if we can? I do have to go to work, but this afternoon I can maybe do some cozy stuff. It's raining like anything. As you can see, all my winter heliotrope has grown back. And Cookie, he's gone into his little cookie casa. He's got a little shelter, but now he won't come inside the house. Okay, I don't know where I'm. Aren't these flowers pretty? They're actually lupins, I think, not foxgloves. Okay, time to go in. Well, I'm happy to say that my cakes are looking pretty good. But I've tried to be making red Stranger Things icing and it just looks kind of like a yucky kind of salmony pink colour. So, I mean, maybe they'll just still taste good even if they don't look great. Well, here we go, friends. I'm all set. I was remembering that when I watched the previous Stranger Things, the last episodes, I had some of the Stranger Things Doritos and I just got ordinary taco chips this time. Here are my cakes that I did bake. Here I've tried to write on this one, strange cake. I think icing's not my forte. This one I tried to write upside down, but it just, I mean, it looks upside down. Yeah. Anyway, so here we are, back to the first episode of Stranger Things. So I'm going to put the light down as low as I can and just enjoy it. Then afterwards I'll come back and just briefly tell you what I found of it. Hi again, friends. Well, I've just watched the first 2 episodes of Stranger Things again, and it's just blown me away all over again. Many aspects of the plot or the details I'd kind of forgotten, and they were so beautifully done. Like Nancy's friend Barbara and all the dynamic that they have, and it's just so great. Suffice it to say, I'm loving watching Stranger Things again, and I'm going to have to probably head off to bed soon because I've got to work tomorrow, but I'm in Stranger Things heaven, and I can see, looking at it again, you know, why it was so successful. Yeah, I will see you tomorrow. The vlog will move up. It won't just be me talking about Stranger Things. Good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. I think Stranger Things has worked its magic because the weather is looking a lot nicer this morning. think today I can kind of get more done. It looks a lovely day. Hello friends, it's Kate from the future here. As you can see, the weather that day was absolutely gorgeous, completely different from the day before. And I decided to set off to see a free exhibition at the West Clacton Library about the history of Clacton-on-Sea, which is if you're not from the UK, Clacton is a very seasidey, show businessy town. Very typical, it's got lots of slot machines, it has a big pier, and I wanted to go and see this exhibition because it sounded really interesting. And as I say, if I've not said anyway, it's free of charge. It's being housed at the moment in a complex of buildings owned by the Tendring Educational Sigma Trust. And it's a very good exhibition, and it was slightly my ambition this week to try and do things that didn't cost a lot of money or were preferably free, like this exhibition. So I will now put in that footage about going to the exhibition. It was a lovely day. It's quite a long way from the bus stop to this library where the museum exhibition is, but at least there is a little pavement, so it's not dangerous, so I'll just keep going. Okay, here is, I think, the sort of complex where the exhibition is. It's called the Tendring Education Centre. So I'll just make my way in. It's a nice sort of setup here. I like the flowers and the landscaping. It's really pretty. Hooray, we're here. Hopefully we can, there's even there's a place to have coffee, which I think will be nice to try as well. So I think this is the exhibition, and then there's the coffee shop. These posters immediately catch my eye. If I look at this one, Clacton-on-Sea. Gosh, that's very elegant. All the bathing suits and the ladies, maybe they work in a beauty contest or something. And then here we are, Sutton's Red Coaches ad. And then see the Ocean Theatre on Clacton Pier. I don't think that's there anymore, but it looks a really good show. Harry Worth, Peter Goodright, the Pamela Davis Dancers, and Anita Kay. Wow, okay, right, now what else should we see? Okay, there is a picture of the Ocean Theatre, which I think was demolished in 1977, but for many years it was very, very successful apparently. And yeah, it opened I think in 1928 with a circus show, which is amazing. Oh gosh, let's see. Okay, oh look, Bob Monkhouse. I remember him, Jimmy Tarbuck. And then Freddie Parrot-Face Davis. Oh, Rolf Harris, oh dear, he's a bit controversial now. In fact, very much so. So here are some really cute bits of china and souvenirs from Clacton-on-Sea. Here's an old postcard of the pier talking about playing skee-ball, which apparently was played with a wooden ball. I've never heard of skee-ball. Is this possibly a skee-ball? It was very popular apparently in the past. And there was a ballroom called the Blue Lagoon. It was very popular. Oh my goodness, it looks quite something. The blue is really vivid. Then there's the Geisha Hotel. Goodness, I don't know if that's still there. I don't think so. Could try and find if the building is still there. It says Cordy's was a popular restaurant on the seafront, famous for its ice cream cakes. And that's Cordy's crockery and metalware. And there's all the ladies working at Cordy's. They look very, very elegant in their outfits. Ah gosh, the Criterion restaurant. That's the Criterion. Looks very nice. And here is the Grosvenor Court Hotel. It looks elegant but was sadly destroyed by fire. There's a lot of just very beautiful information about the different old hotels in Clacton, some of which look extremely grand. So this is an exhibit about the old London Road Primary School, and these items like the little bottle and what looks like a sort of whistle which is apparently a spring balance. These were found under the stage of the London Road Primary School, I suppose when it closed down. Here's some really charming old bags and adverts from old shops in Clacton. I remember Woolworths in Glasgow from when I was little, so it's all very retro. And then there's a lovely painting of Clacton in the background. There's some photos and information about Bailey's the chemist, which looks very grand. We visited Clacton and took a photo, bought a souvenir, sent a postcard. Oh my goodness, look at that lovely postcard. That's so pretty. And there are, very old-fashioned looking. There's some really pretty China souvenirs. I really like those. Those are very nice. And then some old cameras, old photos of people's precious memories. This window in the Clacton Museum is the most striking, I think, and it's all about the clown Bertram and his naughty dummy Filbert. And it seems that Bertram was an absolute star in Clacton. I think he started in 1922 and went on till 1939 when the war broke out. But he entertained thousands and thousands of people. He had increasingly big theatres and people had to be turned away. They queued for hours to see him, and he was absolutely loved. But sadly, after the war, he did not return to the theatre in the Pier, except apparently for one last victory performance in 1951. Yes, the dummy is amazing and a little bit macabre, and here are some of his beloved magic tricks that he would perform for the children. It's very touching to consider what an effect this clown had on the thousands of people that came to see him, but if you weren't in Clacton, you probably never heard of him. I was very fascinated to read that there were a number of girls, and also boys, private boarding schools in Clacton in the past century, which obviously are not there anymore, but I'd love to find out more about them. When I was at nursery, we still had some free milk, I remember that, but I'm not sure if I had free milk at school or whether they just decided to provide it. Here's a wonderful book about useful knowledge at school, which I'd love to read, and some information, very serious little faces of some children at school then. I'm really interested in the Oulton Hall Hotel because it was a temperance alcohol-free hotel, and I work for Hope UK, which is alcohol-free drug education charity, and I wish I could have seen Oulton Hall Hotel, where holidays are jolly days. It looks very cute. Here's something kind of from Quadrophenia about the Mods and Rockers invasion of the seaside, and apparently the council said it was all rather exaggerated and the Mods and Rockers really didn't do anything that big of a deal. So just an interesting piece of history. Apparently Winston Churchill landed in Clacton, and the suffragettes took him to task and were berating him all the way to his car. And here is the Century Cinema, which is still there. Used to be called the Esoldo, and so yeah, very, very retro. And the Westcliff Gardens is still an independent theatre in Clacton, and it was started by these two gentlemen, Graham and Bentley. I've never been into that theatre, but it looks good. And here's Clacton Pier. When it started, it was very narrow and then gradually became rather grand and had all kinds of attractions on it. And yeah, I think this is the couple that actually took the pier in hand and improved it a lot with all the restaurants and things and the Blue Lagoon Ballroom. So yeah, I mean, Clacton Pier is, it's an experience. I maybe wish they had a nice restaurant on there now. There's cafes, but it's not quite the same as like Brighton Pier. But still, it is quite amazing. Here's a flyer for Magic City. It's for a children's adventure playground. Then here's a bit that's talking about the Atlanta restaurant. So the Atlanta restaurant had a variety show as well, and it was very popular in the 70s, so the town was referred to as Showbusy Clacton. Then this is a flyer from the Pavilion Theatre, and then the West Cliff, and that's still there. But then the Ocean Theatre that was on the pier, it's sadly been pulled down now, as we said. And here's something about the BBC Roadshow, and it was obviously very, very popular. The Radio 1 Roadshow, I remember that being on the radio. It was quite an event, and very, you listened to that for a long time when it was on. And here's some lovely old posters. Oh gosh, Morecambe and Wise was here, and Leslie Crowther. Oh, look at that beautiful poster there. Clacton on Sea, very elegant. And then there seems to be a bit more about the theatres and cinemas. Okay, Kinema. The Kinema was demolished in 1962. That's a shame. Oh, I always feel sad when I see old theatres and cinemas that have been pulled down, as if a dream is over. But media always moves on. It's okay. Okay, and there I think is the Princess Theatre, the Town Hall, which is still there, and oh gosh, the Operetta House in Rosemary Road. Sorry, the light's damaging that bit. That looks amazing. And here at the West Cliff, you can see there's an ad for a show with Tommy Trinder. I have heard of Tommy Trinder. I think what I hear is that he was not a very nice person. There's the Tivoli Cinema. So the Tivoli, the Operetta, the Savoy Theatre. So much here. I think the Savoy looks really elegant. Here is a section about Butlins in Clacton and the happy campers. Oh gosh, look at this. I think that Butlins Clacton has now been pulled down. Okay, there's some of the campers with Cliff Richard, and so Cliff Richard and the Drifters. So Cliff Richard and the Drifters played at Clacton Butlins Camp. Wow, that photo reminds me of Cliff Richard's movie Summer Holiday and how cool he was. And I wonder if they all lived at the camp, or they commuted from London. And look at this. Call to the council to buy site. Butlins closure shock. My goodness, that must have been a shock, because it was very popular. Yeah. So the Redcoats were there to make everyone enjoy their holiday more and lead the fun, and a lot of entertainers and people in show business started off as Butlins Redcoats. It was the private beach at Butlins in 1939, showing the Martello Tower with the jetty in the background. Oh my goodness, and the Knobbly Knees competition, one of the highlights of a week at Butlins. There's a very show businessy picture of Butlins in Clacton, dancers and everything. Butlins really is another world. My friend worked there. It sounds great. Get away from it all at Butlins. And then they're having a big exercise class here. And here's a Butlins coat hanger. And we have here a picture of the Butlins Clacton, the Blinking Owl Bar. Very retro. That bar looks so vintage to me, and I like that they have live music. As usual, I'm sad it's all been pulled down. Here is some Butlins memorabilia, and there, it's hard to see it, but there's a picture of the chalets, and yeah, these are all, I suppose, Butlins pins, so you could have memories of your time at Butlins all year round. And oh my goodness, here is a mug with Sir Billy Butlin's picture on it, and a lovely tin with Butlins on it, and then there's a plate saying Butlins Land. I remember the wonderful holidays we had at Butlins in Clacton. We came by train, and then the Redcoats met us at the station, and there was a coach that then took us on to the camp. So it seems the children thought it was all wonderful, but the parents not so much. My parents said the chalets were cold and noisy. There were several lemonade and mineral water factories in Clacton, so moving away from Butlins we have some of the bottles that were made there, that were also used there. And yes, I did not know about these lemonade factories, so it's another bit of history. So don't bottle it up, don't bottle it up. Back to the sun in Clacton-on-Sea. Very elegant lady. Okay, Davy's Restaurant in Station Road, 4 shillings and 6pence for lunch. Best value in the country. Wow. Wish I could go there now. And my goodness, look, you could take an excursion from Clacton to France without a passport. Oh, I wish they did that now. That would be wonderful. That poster is so elegant. Here's another glamorous picture. Sunshine holidays at Clacton-on-Sea. So they had some circuses at Clacton beside the pier. Wow, what beautiful creatures. It seems that they had, they also had dolphins here, and they had a killer whale. But he had to be moved because his pool was not big enough for him. So he wasn't there for long. So apparently there was a swimming pool on Clacton Pier, and there's an old swimsuit from one of the lifeguards in the 1930s. You can't really see it properly. You can see it behind the postcards. There's a lovely fountain there, but apparently it was extremely cold, so that would not have done for me. I like a heated pool. The cafe looks very nice, and lovely end to the day. Well friends, this brings us to my next project for this weekend, and it's this fireplace. It's a bit of a quandary, this fireplace. I mean, I would say that the cream part of it looks quite traditional, but when you tap it, it feels a bit hollow. So I wonder if it really kind of been the fireplace that was actually here. And then in the kind of chimney sort of, well, the fireplace insert bit, there's this sort of, I think, MDF board, which has been quite cleverly put in to kind of cover up the gap. And then there's some logs, which obviously I would never burn. And I find this combination of black and silver a bit sort of naff looking. It's just, I don't think it goes with the fireplace, and I don't like it. So I've decided to go from cold and naff to sort of cheesy and naff. Let me show you what I mean. So I've got some peach paint, and I've decided that I'm going to paint the black bit of this MDF thing peach, and then I've ordered some gold paint from Amazon, and I'm going to paint the silver bits gold. So I'm going to go from cold and naff to sort of cheesy and naff, because I would just prefer that. I mean, in an ideal world, of course, I would, get a proper fireplace insert with beautiful tiles in here, but I'm afraid at the moment my bank account isn't going to allow for that. So what we have is this, and I feel very lucky to have fireplaces. That's great. But yeah, I don't like the black and silver, so I will now start to put on a first coat of this peach paint. And sorry, it's out of focus. What is going on here? And we'll see how that looks. Probably the black is going to need a lot of coats to get a good coverage, but I can make a start. It looks like lobster soup, this colour. Cookie, just be careful, honey. Oh my gosh. Cookie, darling, please. Oh, no. Oh, Cookie! Honestly, oh my God, I don't want you getting paint on your tail. Oh, you're a naughty pussycat sometimes, honestly. I'm sorry, Cookie. It's kind of you to be interested and to be kind and stay near me, but my goodness, I don't want you getting paint on your fur. That's the last thing I need. Okay, when I bought this paint, it looked really different. I bought it on Amazon. However, I will try it. I can always paint over it if I don't like it. Okay, lobster bisque. Here we go. Okay. Okay, right. Well, I think maybe what I'll do is I will I'll try and do a whole coat of this and I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so here's the lobster bisque paint. First try. I think I will like this orange colour much better than the black, even if it is a little bit I mean, perhaps I shouldn't buy paint on Amazon, but I think I will like this better than the black, and hopefully my gold paint will arrive today too, and then maybe either today or tomorrow I can do a little coat of the gold paint on top of the silver, and maybe by the end of tomorrow I can have some idea of what this fireplace will look like. And yeah, that's nice. I think now it's maybe time for lunch. So another thing that I had set my mind on recently was trying to find sea glass. I'll try and show you here. This is a sort of dish of sea glass that I've got. I'll show it to you properly in a minute. But I've always wanted to just try and collect some more. And I thought this summer, whenever I'm near a beach, I'll try and go and see if I can get some sea glass. And I really got interested in this, and I looked at a local sandy beach, well, fairly local to me, and there was no sea glass. So I looked on Google, and they said you need a shingle beach to get sea glass because it just gets washed away from a sandy beach. So this morning I got up really early. I mean, it's a Saturday, I didn't have to get up early, and I went to a beach near Jaywick Martello Tower, which is very pebbly at low tide, which is what they said, and to look for sea glass. So now I will show you my footage of going there. I mean, it was a bit crazy. I think I'm someone that once I get an idea into my head, I just have to go and try it. But it was a lovely outing, and here's what happened. Here's a really stormy view of the Martello Tower. That one might be a museum. There's a cannon on the top, and yeah, it looks very kind of makes me think of a war or something. It's very sort of brutal looking. What a day! But it is a shingle beach, and if I look carefully, maybe I'll find a little bit of sea glass, and if I do, I shall show you. Well, I thought that was some, but it's actually a green leaf. Okay, I'll have a look around and come back to you if I find any. I've actually got a piece, wow, one bit of sea glass. Sometimes you see a stone that you think is sea glass, like I found in this. Okay, well, I think that's it for today. I don't think I'm going to find any more, but I'm glad I found that one bit of sea glass. And yeah, I think it's maybe time to go do something else. So friends, just out of interest, here is the sea glass I already have. These bits here, I actually ordered from eBay, and I have a feeling they came from China, and that they were just kind of put into an industrial washer or something. Whereas this is a real bit of sea glass that I have collected in the past. I mean, I don't have very much. There's another bit. There's another bit that I got that was really an interesting blue colour. And then here are some little pebbles from my old garden that for some reason I painted gold. I think I just thought I'd try and make them into gold nuggets. And anyway, here in Pride of Place, ta-da, is the one bit of sea glass that I did find today at the Jaywick Martello Beach. And it is very nice. So I shall put it here with my other bits. And here's another thing that I thought might be sea glass, but it was just a bit of quartz. So it's a bit misleading. But apparently there is more sea glass on certain beaches like Walton-on-the-Naze. So I think this summer I might try and take a trip to Walton-on-the-Naze and get some more sea glass. But at least today I did get one bit. I just think that there's just something very pretty about it. So there we go. That's something else I did this week. Well, friends, the sun seems to have come out again, but I'm quite tired now, so I'm going to watch some more Stranger Things, even though it's lunchtime. I've got some fish pie from Aldi and a cup of tea, and I'm very happy to be at home. Well, guys, it's 2 hours later. I'm taking a break from Stranger Things. It really has not had much coverage, so I'm going to do another coat of my sort of corally orangey paint, and we'll see how it looks. Well, guys, that's another coat, and it's still looking to me pretty thin. I think this is going to take multiple coats covering up this this black paint, but you know, I can keep going. So now I will just go and wash the brushes again and go back to Stranger Things, and in another 2 hours at 5 o'clock I'll do another coat, and my gold paint apparently is arriving anytime between now and 7 o'clock, so I might even get to do some gold paint tonight, but maybe that's more likely tomorrow. Hey guys, well, I've now put one layer of this sort of thin gold paint onto the formerly silver bits, and I think I need to put another coat of orange onto the sort of orange bits because it's still a bit shadowy, but I personally like this peach and gold much more than the black and silver. I must say I now really want to at least paint the chimney breast. I would like this room to have a peach theme. I mean, that's pretty strong kind of peach colour, but however, I'm now really wanting to change this chimney breast, so possibly in the next few weeks I will do that, and I'll show you how it looks. But yeah, I'm very glad to have changed around this fireplace finally. Hi guys, I've got on an Angel screensaver as you see, and I took away those plastic fairies from my TV, and instead of that I've got my TV Angel as usual, but just some peaceful looking crystals and, you know, unicorns, and there's my little lyre that I got when I was away filming in January. And yeah, it's just got a more serene kind of ambience. So it's just a small thing, but I'm pleased with that. Angels are wonderful. Hi friends, well, I think I'm going to wrap up this video here. It's been a slightly strange video. As I say, I was very kind of cancelled out by the weather and by my schedule, but I will say I'm still enjoying Stranger Things. I definitely am happy that I painted my fireplace, even though the colour is somewhat violent. It's looked to me a lot better than the black, and I'm going to carry on that peach theme in that room, I think. I'm glad I have my bit of sea glass. So this week has been a bit of a placeholder. But I've still enjoyed it, and it's really nice to be in June, and apparently the sun will come back soon. So I wish you a lovely week, and I will see you on my next video.